So you've been told to do 8 to 12 reps for muscle growth, right? But what if I told you that's not actually the reason you've been building muscle? The real secret isn't the rep range, it's the force your muscles produce and the mechanical tension that they experience. Today we're breaking down why that is the key to hypertrophy and how to train smarter to maximize it. Hey everyone, if you've not met before, I'm Lockie, a final year sport and exercise science student and an avid gym goer and sport and exercise science researcher. If you're training hard but still second guessing your rep ranges, don't worry, you're not alone. A lot of people don't actually know why they're doing the reps that they are and why the reps that they're not doing will produce any more muscle than the reps they are doing. Today I'm bringing in actual exercise science to help you understand what really causes muscle growth and why your effort matters more than just hitting a so-called magical rep range. So before we get started, I'm going to explain in this video, we're going to cover why mechanical tension is the real driver of muscle growth, not the rep ranges, how perception of effort and central motor command affect rep speed and muscle recruitment, why low reps, high reps and everything in between can work if done correctly, and how to optimize your training for maximum force production and hypertrophy. So I first need to drop some truth bombs, the first one being the 8 to 12 rep myth. Because the reason you build muscle isn't because of the reps ending between 8 and 12 reps. It's the mechanical tension that your muscles experience during those last few reps. Mechanical tension is created when you generate high levels of force, which increases muscle fiber recruitment and stimulates hypertrophy. But the catch is, mechanical tension doesn't just get produced through doing heavy sets. It's about how much force your muscles produce during the set. Hence why a lighter weight taken closer to failure can still elicit high levels of hypertrophy, because it forces the muscle to recruit all or almost all motor units, and we'll get to that later, just like a heavy set does. Alright, so you should now understand what mechanical tension is and why it happens. But we need to start thinking about why your reps slow down without you wanting them to during a set, assuming you're doing a high enough weight. That's something to consider. If you're doing a set and your reps do not slow down, even though you're pushing as hard as you can, you need to increase the weight. That's a given. So this is where things get interesting. You ever notice when you start a set, your reps are relatively fast, but then as you get towards the end of the set, the tempo, so the speed of the reps, slows down involuntarily. That's not just fatigue, that's your nervous system adapting to the increases in demand for force. So let me break that down into 3 little components. So we have perception of effort, central motor command, and high motor unit recruitment at failure. So let's start with perception of effort. This is where your brain constantly monitors how difficult an action feels. As effort increases, your central nervous system increases motor unit recruitment to compensate. Central motor command is where your nervous system sends stronger signals to recruit more motor units as reps become harder, leading to a natural slowdown in rep speed. And then the final point is that the harder the rep, the more your body has to activate type 2, so fast twitch muscle fibers, which generate high force but fatigue quickly. That's why there's a really short window of the reps that are really high in force production, so you're pushing really hard, but then the reps are slow because the fatigue for type 2 or fast twitch muscle fibers is extremely high. They fatigue so quickly. This explains why lighter weights, even when taken to muscular failure, can be just as effective as heavy weights for muscle growth. But the key is that as you push closer to failure, your rep speed involuntarily reduces. That's the important bit, because that will be a sign that your body is reaching its limitation for motor unit recruitment. It doesn't physically recruit all motor units, but there is a threshold of where you cannot recruit anymore, and you are getting close to that point as your rep tempo involuntarily reduces. So let's explore why you can't just increase the weight and lower the reps, because that might have been something that pops up in your head. It certainly did when I learned about this. Because a lot of people think that if mechanical tension is highest when reps slow down, can't we just increase the weight and do fewer reps for the same effect? And my answer is always, well, not exactly. And always highlight 3 key points why this is. The first one being fatigue accumulation and recovery. Because training at near maximal loads, so upwards of 90% of your 1 rep max, causes excessive central nervous system fatigue, reducing total volume and increasing the amount of recovery time needed. You then have suboptimal time under tension, which is where shorter sets don't allow enough sustained mechanical tension to optimize hypertrophy. And then obviously the injury risk, consistently lifting at very high intensities increases joint and connective tissue stress. So this is why most hypertrophy programs use a moderate rep range. They balance high force production with enough total volume to maximize muscle growth whilst minimizing unnecessary fatigue. So there you go, you've got a little inside scoop to why most plans will recommend doing 8 to 12 reps. So here's what actually matters most. Forget about the magic rep ranges. Instead, focus on how much force your muscles are producing and whether your reps are involuntarily decreasing in tempo. If they are, then congratulations, you're creating mechanical tension, recruiting almost all motor units, and stimulating hypertrophy. So to recap, mechanical tension, not rep ranges, drives muscle growth. As effort increases, your CNS involuntarily slows down your rep speed, proving full motor unit recruitment. Almost. And you can't just increase the weight and lower the reps because of fatigue accumulation, suboptimal time under tension, and injury risk. All right, I want to hear from you. Have your reps involuntarily slowed down near to failure? If you have, then well done. You've done exactly what this video was for. If you haven't, don't worry. Drop a comment below if you're still confused, or you've given it a try and you've succeeded. Make sure you let me know. And if you're serious about training smarter, not just harder, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn the bell icon on so you get notified every time I post, which is every Saturday at 5 PM British time. Make sure to smash the thumbs up button so I know you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.